Strap yourselves in. This is going to be an aggressive one. Starmer, tough action, tough sentences, secure borders. We don't want PR gimmicks. Are you with me or against me? This is the John Gaunt Show. In this episode, I'm going to break down why Keir Starmer's one in, one out asylum gimmick stunt is a total failure on day one, and why the British public has had enough of him and this lousy Labour lying gang. Because let's face it, the grooming gangs, the rape gangs, continue to operate in plain sight. Illegal migrants, many or most of them unvetted, fighting age men, are flooding across our borders at Dover. We haven't got a clue who they are. And our streets and communities are becoming less safe by the day. The first duty of the Prime Minister, as he himself said when he stood at that podium, is to protect the people, not to push PR stunts. But that's all we've had off Labour. PR. Well, I'll tell you something, it's taking the P. Other countries, Poland, Greece, the United States of America, have taken real action, 95% down illegal immigration in the States. Why hasn't the UK done the same? We don't want slogans, Keir. We want tough action, tough sentences. And is it too much to ask for secure borders before your ineptitude ruins more lives? Because that's what is at stake. And also, after talking to Mike Yardley yesterday, and thank you for all the excellent comments we've had on that, I've gone a little bit down the conspiracy rabbit hole. I don't like Starmer, but he can't just be totally thick, can he? Or incompetent, or maybe you think he can. I don't understand why he hasn't got tough, real tough, like I've been suggesting, Army on the beach, Navy in the Channel. Perhaps this is by design. This is where I'm talking about the rabbit hole. Perhaps he wants 25,000, 50,000 illegals in, cheap labour in the future, voting rights for them. He's bringing down the age to 16 as well. Is this him trying to save his own skin? Is it a bigger thing than that? Is he working for somebody else? Because it's like he set out to be the Millwall of British politics. Nobody likes me and I don't care. Is that what he's doing? I just find it unbelievable. And so I'm beginning to wonder, maybe it's not that he's thick. Maybe it's not that he's arrogant. Maybe it's not that he's ignorant. Maybe this is all by design. And if it is, that worries the hell out of me, and it should worry you too. So one of my questions today is, do you feel safe? Do you feel safe in Britain? Because I don't, and I'd like your opinion on that. This is the John Gaunt podcast. Thank you very, very much for joining in. It's going to be a hell of a ride, this one. So strap yourselves in. I'm going to address Keir Starmer directly. I've done it on Twitter a couple of times today. He doesn't reply. I wonder why. But I ain't going to mess about. So Keir Starmer, listen up and listen carefully. The British people want no more spin from you and that useless Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper. We don't want gimmicks. We don't want polished little videos. And we don't want you bullshitting us, showing us a load of migrants today that you've caught and you're processing. Because the truth is, more people have come in today than you're going to deport in a month. Your system will not work. But you're trying to convince us on social media that it's working already. What's that smell? Oh, yes, Keir. It's bullshit. So let me tell you, we don't want stunts. There's enough stunts in the government. We want tough action, tough sentences, and secure borders, and we want them now. And if you're not doing that, as I say, I'm beginning to wonder why. Is this deliberate? Are you trying to wreck our great nation? Are you a fifth columnist? Because Mike yesterday was right. We've no doubt let loads of people, terrorists, in, foreign agents via Dover. It's not just me saying this, other people are picking up on this theme as well. Are you doing it deliberately? What do you think? Do you think there's a plan here, guys? Because as Keir Starmer said, the first duty of any prime minister of any government is to protect its citizens, not to virtue signal, not to put illegal immigrants above our brave soldiers. They get a house quicker than our veterans, not to score points, coming out with all this woke bullshit. But the first duty is to protect the people. Well, right now, you don't need me to tell you that's not happening. In fact, Keir Starmer, you are failing on a monumental scale. Now, if that wasn't plain talking enough for you, Keir, how about this? The two biggest threats facing women and girls, my wife, daughters, your partners, your children, your friends, is that the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs are still operating in this country 40 years after it was first exposed. They're operating with impunity in towns and cities across the UK, and the people who protected them, including members of our police force, are still in their jobs. They're still being protected. Even you, Keir Starmer. No, we don't need a national inquiry. Oh, until the woman you appointed said we did. You make me sick. You make my skin crawl. And the other big thing that threatens all of us, but particularly the women of the United Kingdom, is the invasion of undocumented 18-age men. And I'm calling it an invasion. What else can you call 25,000? It's probably more like 26,000 today, entering illegally. And then the results are there. It's data. You can't argue with the data. They're committing a disproportionate number of violent and sexual offences. It's just a fact. Don't give me the nonsense about most rapists, most pedos are white. Of course they are. We're talking per capita here. And even if that was completely true, why would we want to import other people who we don't know who they are? As I keep saying, Sir Keir, tell me the names of just 3 people and the backgrounds in one of today's dinghies. Answer, you won't be able to. We have had enough. These are the facts. You can spin it, Keir. You can suppress it. You can call it uncomfortable and suggest I'm a racist for saying it, but you cannot deny it. And me and millions of others of the British public have had enough of this. Let's look at the farce of current policy. What's your big solution, Sir Keir? What's your big solution? It's a ridiculous headline-chasing, one-in, one-out asylum policy put forward by that little weasel, Macron, who gets a smack across the chops from his wife. And good on her. But it's failed on day one. You're going to return about 50. In the first boat today, there were 80. I think by lunchtime, there were over 400. It's not going to work. And even if it did, one in, one out means we've still got too many. We want none in and all of them out, all of the illegals. We want them put into secure detention camps now, and then we'll sort them out from there. But we've got to tell people, Sir Keir, you're right. If you tell them you're going to be tough, right, it will deter them. But you're the equivalent of, oh, tear a tissue or rip the arm off an action man. It's pathetic. You could not smash an avocado for your toast, let alone smash the gangs. You pathetic, spineless amoeba. We don't need this kind of performative nonsense. We need decisive leadership, Sir Keir. So why don't you call a state of emergency? Immediately stop anybody getting into the country. What would be wrong with that? That's what the British public need. It's what they want. We also need proper border security. And where are the long sentences that actually deter crime? How come some of these filthy pedos are back on the streets? How come some didn't even go to prison? How come one rapist the other day got less time in prison than Lucy Connolly for writing a nasty tweet? Pathetic. Look, other nations are stepping up. Look at Poland. No immigration now illegal. Look at Greece. They're not even going to say, well, wait and we'll see whether you can apply. They're just going to boot them straight out. Greece, who went bankrupt a few years ago. The Greeks have got it right. They know it's going to affect their country. They're going to affect their tourist trade when a bunch of illegals turn up on the beach. Look at Trump's America. He took direct action to protect his people, and it's down by 95%. So, Keir, you cannot argue with the figures. So why are you still dithering? You're about as much use as, I don't know, a fart in a spacesuit. I ask again, how many underage girls, children, have to be raped before you act? How many of them? How many? Come on, Keir. How many more illegal, undocumented men, potentially terrorists, definitely of fighting age, must we let slip into our country undetected? Mike Yardley yesterday, that if you haven't listened to that program, you must do so. He said yesterday, and he's ex-army, let's put it that way, Sandhurst and the rest of it, but he's a terrorism and security expert. He says he spotted these men and they walk in unison. They walk as if they've been military trained. What are you doing? See, this is where I do want to ask you this, guys. Is he doing it deliberately? Is he trying to break our morale? Is he trying to cripple our country? And if so, why? Or is he just thick? See, I don't think it can be that anymore. Are you protecting the British people, Sir Keir? Or are you protecting your image so you can get a job with the United Nations or in the EU, like a lot of these other lick-spittle politicians over the years, Neil Kinnock, for example, and his missus? I'm angry. The country is angry, and rightly so. And that anger is only going to grow, Keir Starmer. So here's the big message, Prime Minister. Either start protecting the people of this country or stand aside and let somebody with a backbone and a pair of balls do the job. Because we don't need PR. We need protection. We don't want slogans. We want secure borders, long sentences, zero tolerance, and mass deportation of criminals who are breaking into our country. And those who endanger our families, those who rape or sexually assault our daughters and our wives and our sisters, we want to know their identity. We want to know where the homes of multiple occupation is. Do you know why we want to know this? Because we're not the criminals. We're not the hate mob. You're importing the criminals. You're importing the pedos. You're importing the filth, the scum of the world. And I'll just say this once more. I'm not saying everybody who's coming into the country is bad. They're not. And well-controlled, managed immigration has been great for this nation. But this is wrong, what's going on. And don't think you're getting off with it, you Tory bastards, because people like Boris, Liz Truss, the Lettuce, the rest of you, Rishi, you are all just as useless. Why do you hate our country and our people so much that you'll put us through this? I've had enough. Have you. Now you can have your say. Put the comments at the bottom of the screen, please, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. It was incredible today. Even before I started the show, I had people sending me messages, and I'm going to start with those because Pip was the first one out in Barcelona. He says, Starmer's voice is so irritating, I find it hard to listen to anything he says. And when I do listen, I just wish I hadn't. He has no beliefs, no objectives, no plans, and no idea. He wings it day in, day out. Well, I said to Pip, I agree. But the question is, why isn't he sorting it out? What is the game plan? Maybe he wants us to think he's thick. Maybe there's something else going on. And then Kristen says, in any other time, our Prime Minister would address the nation in times of unrest like this. But not Starmer. He's a national disgrace. You are absolutely right. Chris then says, if that Starmer quote is true, the one I've got here on the screen, it is true, about keeping the nation safe, he's caught red-handed, telling lies again. I can't remember a time, says Chris, when the UK has felt this much tension and concern. Well, this is why I kind of wanted to talk about this today. I was in the cafe this morning, and a great old friend of mine called Steve, he said he'd listened to the podcast with Mike yesterday, and he said it was brilliant, John, and scary in the same thing. And then he said, what is going on? Why is this happening? And that's what got me thinking. Starmer's an intelligent, educated bloke. Is he doing this deliberately to break our morale, break our spirit, allow all these undocumented men into our country? Do you remember like Blair and Manderson when they actually admitted it? Yes, we wanted to rub the white working class's face and nose in diversity. Is that what's going on? Meanwhile, he's playing Russian roulette with your daughters, your wives, your sisters, even yourself. Not because every one of these people coming in a dinghy is a sexual predator, but it doesn't take many, does it, to put the fear of God into you? It's got to stop. Are you with me or against me? Private Yosi says advance UK. Well, yeah, that's okay saying that and thinking you've scored a point. You haven't. Say why. What you think they'll do, why they'll be different. Put forward an argument. Anyway, you're not going to get elected. We need to get rid of James O'Brien, says Mark. What's the point of making that point tonight? What a waste of space. What don't you like about him? He's not in government, is he? He's a nothing. The Chipman says, hi, John. Hi, all. Chris says, I can't read that. You've been on loads already. Keir Starmer's wife. No, Liam, no. Do you know what, Liam? I have to read these out straight away as they come up on the screen, yeah? So don't write filth like that. Don't write filth like that. There's something wrong with you if you write that kind of nonsense. And you'll end up getting me banned for some crap what you think's a joke. That's not funny at all. Just deeply offensive. I don't like Starmer, but I don't want to bring necessarily his wife into it. Or if I do, I want it to be about the dresses and all the rest of it. I don't want it to be that filth that you've just wrote. Apologise. No, somebody talking about last night's show says Michael Elphick was in Quadrophenia 2. He was Phil Daniels' dad. I actually did say that yesterday, but thank you for your comments. They've already been blown apart by the facts. The Home Office controls the border and they let them all in. Well, did they? If there was a political will, this would be sorted out yesterday. This is what you've got to understand. Mike Yardley, a top military man, top terrorism expert in the world, one of them, he said there just isn't the will. I talk about it in simple terms, put the army on the beach, put the navy in the channel. We could sort it out tomorrow. To the EU, to the ECHR, and international. So I heard somebody today on the BBC say, Keir Starmer as a top lawyer would never, ever break international law. Why? What if the law's an ass? Which it is in this occasion. Greece don't give a shit about it. America doesn't give a shit about it. And nor does Poland. They're basically saying, see you in court. Well, we should be the same. This is our country. No one, whether it's Europe or the international court, whatever that means, can tell us what to do about who we can let in our country. We're the most tolerant country in the world. Just go into the city centre. I mean, in Coventry, it's like the bloody United Nations. And I haven't got a problem with that. We are tolerant. Look at the work we do for the world when there's a famine or when there's floods in Pakistan or India. We don't go, oh, we're not helping them because they're Muslim. That is not our country. That is not the way we are. Blimey, people are donating. Johnny Roberts has just chucked in a $5 on YouTube. He's pressed that little $sign. Thank you very much. And who's this one? There's another one. Daz Wellings. He says, get yourself a Madri Lager, John. I probably will need one at the end of this. Thank you very much. I've been so busy today. Haven't stopped. I've cooked a lovely spag bog for the mother-in-law and for Lisa, which they're probably tucking into now. I'll have it later. But you know what I mean? So what was I just saying to you? Thank you to those people just for donating. That's very kind of you. Daz Wellings. He's got a comment as well. He's all for the EU. He's setting up his next job. It's him saying FUKU. Yeah, for us Brits voting out of the EU. Now, that is a brilliant point. That is a brilliant point, Daz. I was thinking this today. Is this Brexit revenge? Because we, the people, went against the establishment. They were all telling us, oh, yeah, we're going to remain in. No, I knew. I knew we'd win. And we did. And then after that, we had people, if you remember what happened, Theresa May, Boris Johnson, they didn't really want it to happen. So then they gave us a Brexit that was only Brexit in name only, Brino. We never got the Brexit. And now the Uber liberals go, oh, it hasn't worked. That's why we got this deficit. We got this deficit because Rachel Reeves is a liar. There was never a £24 billion deficit. Now it's gone up to 48 billion. Why? I'll tell you why. Because she's increased indirect taxation and she's putting businesses out of business, especially in hospitality. This lot are a bunch of incompetent sixth formers. In fact, they wouldn't get in the sixth form. I love the way they all brag, oh, none of them went to private school. It's fucking apparent they didn't go. Not only to private school, to any decent school. They're thick, the majority of them. Not Rachel Reeves, who's the other one? Angela Rayner. I haven't had a chance to mention this. Have you seen what she wants to do about allotments? She wants to make it easier to sell off allotments to build housing. Allotments are the green lungs of the white, no, sorry, not the white, all of the working class. And I thought we wanted people to eat better, eat real food. What can be better, as I expressed a few months ago, than eating berries that you've grown yourself or pulling out a carrot or a spud? It always tastes better. Allotments are vital. And them trying to make it easier to flog off allotments, right, is just symptomatic of their cafe latte. Oh, let's go skinny dipping in Salonika, Guardian reading, lentil burger eating, open-toed sandal wearing pricks. And that's just the women who want to run, but instead have ruined our country. Are you with me or against me? Thank you very much indeed. Daz, I've heard the theory there's Death Summit in it. So wrong to career climb at our country's expense. Yeah, it's better if I don't want to sound like a trade unionist, but can you address the audience through the chair, not by having separate conversations, because it gets in the way. Dark Angel's just got on board. She's contributed before. Thank you, Dark Angel. If you're wondering what I'm on about, I run all this myself. If you want to help out, you can. You can donate by going to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, or you can buy a beer, a £5 at a time. Many people buy 3. That's very kind of you. Please do that. Alternatively, if you press the little $sign on this YouTube video, or just under the video, you can donate there anything from £1 upwards. It all helps to keep me going and it going, right? Because believe it or not, it takes a lot of work to do this. And I think we're really making traction now with I've got a fantastic bloke next week, a Muslim guy. I was the first one to use him in British media. He's now all over the place. You wait till you hear what he has to say next week. So that'll be next week. Remember, there's no show tomorrow at 6:30 because I don't do Fridays. I might do one during the day, although it is my daughter's birthday. It's a big one as well, 30th birthday. So I've obviously got to be available for that. And in fact, Today I said, do you want to go for breakfast tomorrow? And she said, I can't go for breakfast. I'm working till 4 a.m, but I'll meet you later in the day. That's my kind of girl. What a hard worker she is, while she's still doing a PhD. Where are we going next? Lily Cat in Alderbury. John, the government should give us women and girls free self-defense lessons. I know where you're coming from, Lily, but you shouldn't have to defend yourself in the street against some foreign, feckless freeloader, should you? You should be free to walk the streets. And when people say, well, what about white rapists? I hate them as well. I'd string them up from the lamppost. I'd string them up from the lamppost by that. You know what I mean? Curse 10 has just whacked in a tenner on YouTube. Flipping heck. He says, keep up the good work. Thank you very much indeed, Kirsten. I suppose that's meant to be Kirsten, isn't it? That's quite clever. Thank you very much. Brilliant. If you want to help out, just press that thing. Right, now I've had enough, right? Liam Bream, I've had enough. You either apologise within the next few seconds or you get banned for life. I don't want your filthy jokes on here about Starmer. I don't want to be closed down by you. I'll make the jokes and I'll be the one who does the innuendo, not you. Have you got that, Liam? You've got that. One more comment like that, you're banned, because I don't need you if you're being like that. I really don't. Most politicians who get to the top are compromised. They wouldn't get there otherwise, says Ben SK. You're absolutely right. I would agree with you there. Our taxes are going up, says Kristen. Our quality life is going down. Yeah, did you see that today? Rachel Thieves said, oh, yeah, interest rates have come, they've come down by a quarter of a point or something today. She said that's because the economy is stable. What fucking planet does she live on? She thinks everything's okay. Do you remember the old days when you could go out for a few beers and have a few? Do you not sit in the pub? I sat in the cafe this morning. I'd picked up all the loose change in my room and I took that down. And I had to make a joke of it with the young girl who was taking the money because they just expect you to use a card. And I don't. I like to use cash. And I said, I've emptied my piggy bank. And she laughed. She said, you have, haven't you? But that's what it's like. Times are tough, Rachel, if you've not been busy fiddling your CV. Jackie Ward, Starmer must be the most hated person in politics. What, just in politics? Yesterday, I watched a Labour Party member of 34 years cut up his Labour Party membership card. She was in tears doing so. Sorry, it was a lady. But said she can no longer be a member as long as Starmer is in charge. Well, I think he's going to get a big wake up about this because I think a lot of people are going to do that. And a lot of them are going to go to Jeremy Corbyn. They are. And a lot of them, of course, will go to Nigel and Reform and maybe Ben with Advance UK and the rest of them. Politics is going to change, but I haven't got real faith in any of them to give us the change we need because I'm sorry to say, I never thought this would happen. Pass me the tin hat. I am becoming a bit of a conspiracy theory. Man, I really am. Starmer keeps telling us he'll stop the boats. Call me cynical, but I think Dastardly and Muttley have more chance of stopping the pigeon. Oh, that's a great. That was brilliant, wasn't it? I used to love that. I preferred that to wacky races. What was his name? Cluck, the guy who worked with them. That's Graham Hatton. You wouldn't be able to AOR Guru on YouTube. You wouldn't be able to make that anymore, would you? Because they'd say that was prejudiced against him and his impediment. Denise Deacon, when our governments are letting in mainly young, unvetted, fighting age men, it does make you wonder what their agenda is, John. Personally, I feel they're here awaiting orders. Thanks, Denise. Well, Denise, I think you make a good point, and it's very similar to what Mike was saying yesterday. He said, imagine what you could do. He called them sticks, with 6 or 7 sticks, SAS men, right? What trouble you could cause. Now, our SAS are the best in the world. We all know that. But say they're not as good as ours. They're Iranians or they're Russians or whatever they are. What if they're already in the country? And as Denise Deacon says, they're just waiting. Because undoubtedly, foreign countries are seeing what's happening in the UK and wanting to stir it up. Of course they are. That's what happens. And don't make out we're holier than that. We've been doing that for years. I had a friend, partly what my new book's about. He was in the, how shall I put it? A special unit And his job was to go around the world causing dissent amongst the local population. So we all do it. All countries do it. And that worries the arse off me. And it should worry you. We shouldn't be relying on France to secure our borders. Winston Churchill will be turning in his grave, says Lily. Forget about Winston Churchill, Captain Mainwaring. What would he say about it? It's unbelievable, isn't it? Our forefathers and our women folk, because they basically did all the jobs the men used to do, they protected our nation. We didn't get invaded. We didn't. And look at us now. Look at us now. Breaks my heart. Labour, as they're now called, they're about as much use as a nail in my boot, says Ronnie Hurst. See, that's all right, Ronnie. Thank you. Greece is putting asylum seekers in warehouses with camp beds. Meanwhile, we put them up in 4-star hotels. I was laughing because I love the word camp because it's got so many. Anyway, Daz Wellings. Yeah, well, you can't say that, Daz, because you've got no evidence. So don't say it on here. If you want to say it on Twitter, say it on there or with your mates, you can. But don't do it in my show, right? I ain't going down because of you. That my mate Steve today, he said, when are you going to start up a fund for when you get sent to prison? So we had a laugh about it. And then I thought, there's a good chance I could get the Storm troopers at my door. Good job my best mate is a human rights lawyer. No comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. Martin, I've been arrested for hurty words. Oh, man, I'd love to be a hero, a free speech hero. Was it before? And I'll be it again. I don't mind. No one's going to stop me saying what I want to say. No one. And they shouldn't stop you as well. I was reading that as well in one of the papers today. People are saying people are being very censorious, self-censorious, censoring themselves. Do you know the worst kind of censorship? It's self-censorship. And we shouldn't do it. I mean, I've told a few people off tonight because if it's baseless or you can't possibly back it up, there's a big difference between that and saying Keir Starmer's, isn't there? Or useless, because he is, right? That's a held opinion. I think on the evidence of him being Prime Minister, he can't do the job. But then to say he's doing something else with other people, that's a different thing. So don't go there, please. Do not go there. Ronnie Hurst, all the poor girls have been raped. I wonder who they're going to vote for. Chris 10 says, you tell them, John. Thank you, Chris. I will. You keep donating and I'll tell them more and more. Johnny Roberts, who donated a moment ago, big load of money. I think a $5, didn't you, Johnny? Thank you for that. Hi, John. I think it's about time a manifesto in a general election should be legally binding. Oh, I've been saying that for years, my friend. The recklessness by Labour would bring criminal proceedings. You're right. But it isn't just Labour. They all do it. And they think it's acceptable. The political class, see, this is what's wrong. The whole political class is corrupt. There's one or two exceptions, but and I mean less than a handful, but the majority of them are self-centered, self-serving pigs with their snouts in the trough. What trough? What about that woman who's meant to be in charge of looking after the renters? Labour MP, right? She's a Minister of State. She chucked out people out of her house and then put it back on the market, right, for £700 more a month. That's what we're talking about. And then there's Angela Rayner. Let's sell off the allotments. I thought you'd like the allotments, Angela. I'm with you, John, says Rosseth22. Don't forget, if you'd like to donate tonight, and a few people have done it already, you don't have to do as much as them. You don't have to do a tenner. You can just do a couple of quid if you want, whatever you fancy. Or you can put 100 quid in. I don't care. It all helps. Thank you very much. Where are we going next? I'm with you, John, says Rosseth22. This is an interesting one from Lily. Lily, good point. She says, in Bournemouth, they've set up a vigilante army to patrol the streets from this Monday. It's happening in lots of places, that. I kind of admire it in a way and respect it, but another part of me, it's a dangerous path to go down, isn't it? Oh, that's the other thing that Steve, my mate, said. He said, I went to a party with a guy who's just left the police. He said, I've known him years. He said, I can't be a policeman anymore. So what was his reason? He said, because we're not allowed to police. And interestingly, I read a tweet from Kevin Hurley. Do you remember we had Kevin Hurley on, the top copper Britain's toughest copper. He's written a tweet today saying, I know loads of people who are leaving the police service. People I've trained, he said, because they can't stand it anymore. That's going to come back and bite us on the bottom, isn't it? The Dark Angel, the Saudis warned the government about the borders, saying we're letting people of no standards are willingly being welcomed in this country. You're right. We let them in. We then go, well, diversity is our strength. We have to accept the shit way they want to live, but they won't abide by the rules. They won't even learn, some of them, the language. I'm not saying all of them. But this is where we're going wrong. The British passport is something that should be honoured and respected and earned. Just like going to our NHS, I would have a qualifying period before you can have free NHS treatment. I would. What's wrong with that? How many of these lot as well are coming in on the dingers are getting medicals? I'll tell you. I would guess none of them. None of them. Daz Wellens, he chucked in a 5. It's just coming back up on the screen now. Get yourself a Madri Lager, John. I'll tell you what, I'll need one at the end of this. Thank you for that, Daz. Johnny Roberts, he put in money. Thank you very, very much indeed. You're all being very generous tonight. Stock food makes sense. Just got to play a long game. You mean stock up on food in case? Well, maybe. I think that's what you mean. I'm not sure I really know what you mean by that. Starmer wants us all to roll over so he can just do as he wants with regards to taking all our money and give it to some illegal who doesn't want to work or help themselves. Yeah, that's another thing I was talking about with Mike Yardley yesterday. This idea that Starmer is just trying to clamp down on us. So he wrecks all the pubs, so you can't go to the pub. He kills hospitality, so you can't socialise. Then he puts up airfares, with green taxes. Then the price of fuel. Then he stops you going on holiday. Then he says, oh, why don't you work harder, longer? So you don't mix. You don't talk. My mate who used to run pubs said pubs are like the modern day marketplace where people used to go to discuss things. That's how drama, I'm not going off on my TV one. That's how drama started. One bloke turns up in the market square, tells a story. Next week comes again, tells it again, but elaborates a bit, like Billy Connolly. Next week he brings a mate and they act out bits. Before you know it, you got drama. Before you know it, you got EastEnders. That's how drama started. But they don't want that marketplace because it can be dangerous. Fraser Ford says we need allotments. I agree with you. Rees is chasing investment and inspiration out of the country. Trump must step in with America when American interests are affected. Trump is now going to see Putin. I wonder what the Uber liberals are going to say about that. If he doesn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, it would absolutely be outrageous. Can't believe it's come to this. Us living in a communist nation. It's scary, says Daz Wellings. And he also says, Taj Haji. Yeah. Yes, it will be Taj Haji. I'm going to get him on next week. Brilliant man. I was the first man to interview him. First man. And now everybody has him on and, I'm his mate. Anyway, they all copy the act, don't they? I heard somebody today doing almost line for line what I was saying yesterday. Give me a credit, or at least chuck me 10 quid, guys. I won't name them because it's embarrassing. Kristen, there's the £10 he donated tonight. Thank you, Kristen. He says, keep up the good work. I will, my friend, if you keep helping me. Lisa Carvel says, I can't believe as a lawyer that he's thick, talking about Starmer. But I can't believe a lawyer can't think on his feet or say anything without it written down. That is a brilliant point, Lisa. Because I'm saying, look, he's a clever bloke. He's got to be clever for what he's achieved. But you're right. He can't think on his feet, could he? I'd wipe the floor with him in an argument. If we were in the cafe or the pub and we started arguing. So why can't he do that? My mates, I've got quite a few mates who are lawyers, and I have to watch myself because they're cleverer than me. Like my 2 daughters, especially Rosie, because of going to Oxford, they learn how to argue both sides of the argument. It's called maintaining the dialectic. It's a Greek term, I think. And she can do that. So she can make an outrageous statement like Henry VIII was the first feminist. He hates. He chopped everybody's heads off. He hated women, but then she'll make the argument. I tell you who else can do that is, and I don't particularly like him, Peter Hitchens. He can do that. His brother could do it even better. I'm not saying my other daughter isn't brilliantly intelligent as well. She is, but that way of thinking, that Oxbridge education gives you, it's quite amazing, and that's what top lawyers can do. And so I can't really understand why he can't do that. You're right. So maybe he is I don't know. It's just beginning to get on my nerves. Ronnie Hurst says Starmer's internet blockers. It's a very good point, though, Lisa. Thank you for making it. You can give out the pencils at the next lesson. Starmer's internet blockers will be watching you, so we do need to keep our comments in line with the law. Precisely. Thank you, Ronnie. We do. Because if I go down because of something I say, I haven't got a problem with that. But I don't want to go down because one of you's made a stupid comment and dropped me in it. So don't do it. I'm not saying censor yourself. I'm just saying, just before you make the rude joke, particularly if it's about Starmer's wife, just think about it. I get paid on the 12th, John. Thank you. So I'll be donating a few shekels your way again. I'm loving these live broadcasts. I've told the lads at work about it, says Graham Hatton. Thank you. Well, I'm trying to do a bit of both. I'm doing the lives and I'm doing the interviews. Eventually we'll merge and we'll do some live shows with guests as well. And then we'll do phone calls. And then I don't know what happened then. Then maybe I won't have to sell the big issue in the week. Fraser says, great show. Clap, clap, clap. You're doing great work. I want my tinfoil hat. Yeah, we see that's where I've got to. That's where I've got to with it. And this is a very good point. I think Blair is still in the background. He is World Economic Forum through and through. Well, I won't argue with that. And I think he is pulling some strings. Thank you very much, Bean SK. Right, that's me done, I think, unless you've got something else to say. I've done most of the comments tonight. Thank you for that. Only had 13 likes. So if you've not pressed the like button yet, press it now. If you want to donate anything now, you can. Just click on the $sign and donate whatever you can afford, only what you can afford. Or after the show ends, go to or even while I'm on, www. What was it? buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. You'll know it's me because my picture comes up when you've got the right place. So thank you for that. But you could also donate a beer rather than a coffee. Tell you what, we need a beer in this weather, don't we? Jackie Ward, as per usual, she's a hero. She's given me the 3 love hearts. Some of my other women aren't here tonight. I don't know where they are. But you can't be here every night. And don't forget, it doesn't matter. If you're not watching live, you can always watch it later because it's all on my YouTube channel, John Gaunt TV. And I keep telling you, it's free to subscribe. We've had loads of people subscribing this past week. So keep clicking on that. Subscribe. Then every time I go live, you get a notification. Not only that, there's over, I don't know how many, 1,000 videos and podcasts. There's loads of stuff on there. So you can go right back into the archive and catch up if you want. Never any need to be bored again of an evening. You could have a whole evening of Gaunty if you're a glutton for punishment. The Chipman says, we love you, Gaunty. Well, I love you too, Chipman. Lily Cat, she sent me a load of hearts. Lily, what you've made some really good points tonight, so thank you for them. The problem with Starmer, says Johnny Roberts, is that he worms himself around the legal woke left-wing handbook. And that is not the British way of life. That's a good point, Johnny. He does do that. And you watch, if there's any trouble, if it really kicks off with all these thing about the migrant hotels, that's the thing. Why doesn't he just solve the migrant hotels? Why is he not doing it? Is it to make us demoralized? Is it to break us, break our spirit? But then what's his goal? That's the bit, when I've got my tinfoil hat on, I can't work out what the next bit is. I know some people say, oh, it's WEF, but then they don't really explain from there what that means. And what happens if a girl does get murdered soon? What happens if one of these people do commit an horrendous crime? Pretty horrendous already. All the rapes and sexual assaults, all the allegations of them. What country in the world would let in people who you don't know who they are who actually have been bragging, they have chucked their passports away. What other country in the world would do that? It's just mental. It's just mental. We'll talk more about this next week. So, no show tomorrow, but I might chuck an extra one in. Oh, well, I will do. Oh, well, Sunday I'm going out with Beth for her birthday as well. She's like the queen. She's having like a weekend of celebration. So, I'll try and do another one over the weekend. Got some great people lined up next week for you for the special set piece interviews. And I love the reaction you gave to Mikey Ardley. It was brilliant. And finally, Daz Welling says, onwards and upwards, John. Thank you for your great work. Well, thank you for your donation, Daz. That's very kind of you. Right, I'm off. If you got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. I'll see you soon. All the best. Bye.